Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So, it is Monday, we are kicking off with a brand new trailer. So we've got a new intro to the channel, we've got a new channel artwork, so it'd be great to hear what you guys think of it, if you prefer it or don't prefer it to the old intro, but I just thought it needed sprucing up a little bit. So we're kind of kicking off this week, starting afresh. We played last week with that Togedemaru team. I did say on Friday's episode that we were going to make a few changes to the team to bring into today's episode, and we have done that. As you can see on the channel artwork, we've got a couple of changes. So we've taken the Mimikyu out and we've replaced it with Bravery. And we've taken the Celesteela out and we've replaced it with Arcanine. So, kind of weird changes, but some of them make sense. We've changed some things on some of the Pokemon as well, but we can get into that once we get into the battling. And I have another little announcement as well, guys. So, what we're going to do, I've got a little surprise that I'm going to try and test out in today's episode at the end of this video. So, we've done the episodes, and the thing is, I always say it's good to analyse your videos and good to analyse your games that you've played and all that sort of thing. So what I kind of had this idea of the weekend was, why don't I do an analyzer, a game analyzer at the end of every episode? So I'm going to trial it today. We'll see how it goes. At least then it'll be a good thing to go back through the games that we just played and see, identify key areas where we went wrong and key areas where the teams maybe lacking options to beat certain tricks and things like that. So hopefully it's going to be really great for you guys, really beneficial. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll try it out today and maybe Wednesday and Friday this week. And if it's something you guys really like, I think it adds a little difference as well to what other players are doing on YouTube with their just playing Battle Spot. I think it's like just a little extra thing that we can do to make it a little bit different and make it a bit more beneficial for you guys. So we'll see how it goes anyway. So we have our first opponent of the day, and they are running a team of, is that Slowpoke? That is Slowpoke, isn't it? So we've got Slowpoke, Torkoal, Lilligant, Smeagol, Tapu Bulu, and Drampa. So Slowpoke is a bit of an interesting choice here. It's probably holding the Eviolite, it's probably the Trick Room setter, so we're going to have to play around that because it can't be taunted. It's probably got that, is it Oblivious or Obvious ability, and then we've got the rest of the team to make up. So we've got the Lilligant Torkoal, there's the fast threatening mode with the sun. We don't have any other weather, so we need to be very careful of that. Smeagol that can support the team through Fake Out, Follow Me, and a wide variety of moves. Just take your pick from them. Tapu Bulu is a terrain setter here, and Drampa, another Trick Room Pokemon that we need to be careful of. So what can we do? Let's go with Togedemaru, and because the Fake Out's going to be nice here. We could bring Bravery. There's no Intimidate though to kind of help us there, but we could go Arcanine, Tapu, Finny, and let's go Garchomp. Let's see how we do against this. This is a weird team. Hopefully we're not overthinking the Slowpoke too much. It's kind of really distracting me. But yeah, I can see the merits of it. I don't know whether it would be better or worse bringing Slowbro or Slowking in place of that, but I guess the Eviolite gives it those extra defenses that it may need to help set up. So we do see it lead off here, and so we've got the Torkoal and the Slowpoke leading here. Now what we could do, we've obviously got the Fake Out here. And we're probably better off going for Fake Out this first turn to stop the Trick Room. But the thing is, if we go for Fake Out into the Slowpoke, that leaves Torkoal open to just attack us with anything, and then Togedemaru will go down, unfortunately. If we Fake Out the Torkoal, we've obviously got to contend with the Slowpoke not having Protect and just going straight for a Trick Room. And the other option is we could go for that Zing Zap Electrium Z and try and take down the Slowpoke. And I think I'm going to be a bit risky here and go for that. And I'm going to go for a Helping Hand as well into that slot to make sure that we pick up the KO through that Eviolite. So there's a Helping Hand where the protects come in. Toko protects. Is this Slowpoke going to protect? No protect. So we should hopefully pick up the KO. Let's see. It should. It's got to pick up the KO, right? It has to. This is like a Helping Hand Gigavolt Havoc. It has to. We'll get rid of this weird Slowpoke. I think just not playing them before, I have like no idea how bulky they can be, but that is clean. Togedemaru doing a good job there. Now the next turn we've got a good opportunity to lock that Togcall into protect, as long as the Lilligant doesn't come in. If the Lilligant comes in here, then we've got a few issues, because we'd have to be careful of the After You, which would let that Togcall move before the Togedemaru, and we've also got the Sleep Powder to contend with as well. But it is Tapu Bulu. Okay, so that's fine. I don't mind that at all. We do see the grassy terrain get brought up here, but we can take advantage of that on-call with our Togedemaru here. We'll just on-call the Togcall, and I'm just going to go for a Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz in the sun. We're running very offensive Arcanine as well here, so we should be able to pick up the clean KO, I'd imagine, on the Tapu Bulu. Bulu withdraws, and Drampa comes in. Okay. Flare Blitz should still be doing a good amount of damage. We do get the on-call onto this Togcall, locking it into that protect. So just stopping it from attacking. Get the Flare Blitz. Let's see what this damage is like in the sun. No, Drampa does resist it, but still 50%, that is good. So we can pick up the KO there the next turn. We do activate that Berserk ability, so its special attack does rise, but we can potentially double into it this next turn, just to make sure that we do pick up the KO through. You've got to imagine though the Togcall probably switches out here, but I don't think we need to worry too much if it does. So let's go for a Zing Zap and that Flare Blitz into that slot, because if the Drampa protects, again we've got the Encore to try and lock it down the next turn, so we're putting on a lot of pressure every turn with what we're doing. So we do see the Togcall switch out for the Tapu Bulu, but no switch out or protect from the Drampa. We get a Zing Zap onto it, further activate that Berserk ability, and the Flare Blitz here should be enough to pick up the KO. Right, so now the Togcall comes in, and now gets a little bit more tricky, because the Togcall now can fire off an eruption, but we do put a lot of pressure onto that Tapu Bulu here with our Arcanine, because the sun is still up. What have we got in the back? We've got Garchomp still and Tapu Fini, so we should still be alright. The sun will be ending in 2 turns, so that's alright. I think what I'll do is probably worth sacking the Togedemaru here. Or do we keep it around for later on? Since I don't really want to bring anything in an eruption, I'm just going to sack the Togedemaru, get some damage off onto this Bulu. The Bulu's probably going to protect here though. So no protects from anything on the other side of the field. We get a Zing Zap off. There's always a chance that we flinch as well. This should pick up the KO, just being in stun. Yeah. The other option, what we could have done there, was Spiky shielded with Togedemaru, kind of predicting the protect on the Bulu, catch it out that next turn, but we didn't really need to. So we do take an eruption from the Togcall. Togedemaru does go down, unfortunately, and Arcanine takes a big chunk of damage. So let's see. I'm just going to bring in Garchomp here, so I don't want to bring in Tapu Fini until the sun's completely gone, and then we can start taking advantage of those water type attacks. But we should be able to lock up the game pretty comfortably from this point. I'm just going to Rock Slide and go for a Flare Blitz with Arcanine. And my opponent just forfeits. So good game to my opponent, and not a bad start to the episode. And we'll hopefully continue that a bit more in the next one. And maybe we'll feature the Bravery and the Snorlax, because I have pretty much changed. I think the Togedemaru was like the only set and spread that I didn't change. I think everything else that we've got here has kind of changed slightly from what we were playing. I was in a bit of like a quandary with whether I wanted Celesteela in, and it was pretty much Celesteela or Snorlax, and I kept the Snorlax in the end, because the rest of the team, we've not got too much to answer for Trick Room. So at least with Snorlax there, I've changed it to a curse set, I've given it high horsepower, I've dropped the Protect. Hopefully that gives us a good answer to Trick Room, and you know, if we can start setting it up, then it should do really well. We've got the Tapu Fini to help us prevent poison damage as well, which is something that players are kind of tending to go with a bit more. So we'll see how we get on with it. But we have our next opponent, and they are running a team of Tapu Koko, Kartana, Muck, Alola Muck, Garchomp, Gyarados, and Arcanine. Two of my favourite Intimidators that we want to see. Bravery definitely wants to see those Intimidators come out. So, what can we do here? I think we definitely lead Bravery. We could lead Bravery and Garchomp, because that combination puts a lot of pressure on the majority of my opponent's team. I think we do bring Togedemaru in the back to give us a bit of security against that Tapu Koko, and it gives us an option to hit that Gyarados for decent damage. And what's the last Pokemon? We could bring Arcanine for Intimidate support. It does give us nice options against, gives us nice switch-ins to the Kartana, the Arcanine as well. And then we've got that Fire MZ if we do want to launch it off. I am running the Z move on Arcanine now. I'll explain it at some point. We'll not go into it because we're running out of time a little bit here. So, do we want Arcanine or do we want Snorlax or Fini? Let's go Arcanine. I think Arcanine's probably going to be the better choice, maybe. But we'll see how we get on, at least. Just got to make the right plays, I think, as you always have to do. But I haven't even had a chance to ask you guys. I hope you all had a nice weekend, whatever you got up to, and caught the MBL match between Team Leaky and Team Mythical. It was a lot of fun playing that game, and Joe and Marty are brilliant people, so it was so much fun playing them both. So I hope you checked it out. Obviously the team builder is over on my mate Hibiki's channel, so do go and check that out if you haven't watched the match first to see our team building here. But we have, let's get into this game anyway. So we've got Kartana, Tapu Koko lead. Bravery is threatened from the Tapu Koko, but we can switch in the Togedemaru, and we do have the option to go for a superpower into that Kartana. We could switch out Bravery, keep it for later on, and just go for, well, we could Earthquake and just Brave Bird, to be honest. That would probably do the job. I don't think my opponent is going to go for an electric type attack because of the threat of Togedemaru in the back. So let's just go for that Earthquake and Brave Bird. Kartana withdraws, Gyarados comes in. Okay. But this does mean we are going to be able to pick up the KO onto the Gyarados, because a +1 Defiant Brave Bird, unless it's really invested. So there is the Brave Bird. Let's see the damage on this Gyarados. Okay, that's Calc to survive. We do see a Thunderbolt, so we are going to lose Bravery here. I'm a bit surprised with that, because just of the threat of Togedemaru coming in there. If we had brought it in, then we would have been in such a dominating position. We do get the Earthquake off with Garchomp though, and now we're free to bring in that Togedemaru though. we can just fake out the Tapu Koko and go for a Rock Slide with Garchomp. We've got no threat of that, and my opponent probably has to kind of switch up their board position. We don't want an Earthquake next to Togedemaru. Let's go for that Rock Slide. That should pick up the KO onto the Gyarados, but we do see it withdraw. Probably see the Garchomp come in now. Probably see the Tapu Koko protect. And there we go, there is the protect from the Tapu Koko. So we'll do a little bit of chip damage to the Garchomp here. You've got to imagine the Koko to switch out here for probably the Gyarados. So let's go for a Spiky Shield, and kind of don't want to switch in Arcanine just at this point. Where's the Tapu Koko gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam? Can't imagine it, can you? I don't know. If we... yeah, it's got to be the Gyarados coming in and the Garchomp going for an Earthquake, you would imagine. So let's go for a Rock Slide. Yeah, there's the Koko switch. Here's the Gyarados, getting that extra Intimidate onto us. We'll see an Earthquake come out from the opposing Garchomp, but hopefully we are able to take down this Gyarados here. We're just going to protect little Togedemaru this turn. There's the Earthquake. Okay. So without Bravery, it is going to be a bit awkward to deal with this Garchomp. Okay. We don't mind it avoid, like, as long as it didn't miss the Gyarados here. So we do hit the Gyarados. Now, what does my opponent bring in? Is it going to be that Cortana? Oh no, it's just a Tapu Koko. So you've got to imagine that my opponent probably go for another Earthquake here, just to get rid of the Togedemaru. And protect the Tapu Koko. Okay. So I really need to start going for Earthquakes myself, and I don't want to switch in Arcanine on an Earthquake. So I'm just gonna go for a Zing Zap. I'm gonna pretty much resign to the fact that we'll lose Togedemaru this turn and just go for an Earthquake, get some damage on to that opposing Garchomp. Yeah. So we take a lot of damage from the Earthquake. We do lose Togedemaru, and I wonder if that Garchomp is scarfed. It hasn't used anything else, has it? We're probably going to see a Dazzling Gleam. We're going to probably not see a Dazzling Gleam come out here. We're probably going to just see switch into Cortana. So I'm just going to protect. No, there's no point of protecting at this point. Let's go for a Inferno Overdrive into the Garchomp just to try and get some damage off onto it and kind of predict that Cortana to come in on the Tapu Koko side. If we survive an Earthquake... Oh, okay. So we should have went for the Poison Jab, if I can get my words out. Do see Thunderbolt come out into the Arcanine. Oh, crit. Okay. Yeah, that's game now. like Arcanine can survive that. It's not life orb, so we would have definitely survived that. There's not a lot we can do. My opponent's just going to be able to clean up. So this episode definitely one for the old analyzer, which we'll do. That is such a shame. I think bravery going down so early on and us not being a bit bolder and bringing in the Togedemaru when, you know, thinking our opponent would be a bit more hesitant to use an electric type attack, knowing that I had the Togedemaru on the team. We could have just brought it in there and that would have put us in such a good position going into the next few turns. Because the Tapu Koko then would have had to go for a Dazzling Gleam, which we could have taken advantage of. We would have been able to just nuke the Gyarados that next turn with another Brave Bird being scarfed. So it's just a bit... yeah, we should have done that, but never mind. Anyway, I think what we'll do, guys, because we're going to do that analyzer little snippet after this, we'll keep it as short as we can and we'll jump straight over into that. So I hope you've enjoyed today's games, guys. As always, please leave a like on the video if you have. Let me know what you think of the changes that we've made to the team. We haven't seen too much of it today, but hopefully as the week goes on, we'll see a lot more from the team. We had that really quick game 1, and we've just had that game there. So we've not really seen much of it, but because I don't want to overextend this episode, we're going to jump straight into our analyzer, and we'll be back on Wednesday with another episode of the School of Hard Knocks, so do stay tuned for that. And I look forward to hearing everything that you guys think about all the changes that we've had today. So until then, guys, I will see you in 1 minute with the analyzer of this episode. So guys, we're here and we've just finished our 2 matches that we played on today's episode of the School of Hard Knocks. We are sitting in our first match. So this is our videos. This is like our VGC episode analyzer, so to speak. So welcome to the first time we've ever done this. It's a bit of a trial and error, but hopefully we can kind of do this with every game that we kind of play, and it kind of gives us a bit of a better in-depth analysis to see where we probably went wrong, where we went right, what we could have done differently and things like this. So we see our first match of today's episode, and where we played Fernando, and he was running that team of Slowpoke, the Torkoal, the Lilligant, the Smeagol, Tapu Bulu and Drampa. So basically what the basic premise is, we outlined this as we were going through the game. This game turned out to be pretty straightforward. We made a good call turn 1, which kind of put us into a really good dominating position to kind of go forward in the match. It's obvious what my opponent's team was trying to do. You know, the most threatening thing I think for us here would have been the Lilligant Torkoal lead. That's what I was probably more scared about than anything else. I knew that we'd be alright from Smeagol because we can outspeed it with the Togedemaru here that we've got on our team, faster fake out there, and we've also got Tapu Fini to stop any spore abuse that we could potentially see. Now I didn't want to bring Bravery in this match because although it's good against the Lilligant and Tapu Bulu, there's always a threat of my opponent leading with that Lilligant and the Torkoal, and if they just go after you, Eruption turn 1, then Bravery is gone, because Lilligant in the sun is going to be outspeeding even Choice Scarf Bravery, so there's not really much point of doing that, and it would put us at such a deficit straight away, 1 Pokemon down at the very least. So I think that the way we set up with the team to have the Togedemaru in the front there with that fake out pressure if we needed it, Arcanine as well, it can take those big fire type attacks from Torkoal quite comfortably, and it does threaten the Tapu Bulu and the Lilligant with its own fire types attacks. So what I would have done in the situation if we'd seen the Lilligant Torkoal lead, I would have switched out of Togedemaru turn 1 into Tapu Fini, just to be able to... Tapu Fini can take an Eruption. We're probably not likely to see the Lilligant fire off a grass type attack into that slot, and it gives us the Misty Terrain. It stops any spore abuse that Lilligant could potentially go for. So that was kind of thinking, but let's zip into this first turn. So what we led off with, if we can do it, so there we go. So we see my opponent here leading with the Slowpoke and the Torkoal, and we're leading off with the Togedemaru Arcanine. So I'm a bit questioning here whether or not we want to go for the Electrum Z, the Helping Hand, because that Slowpoke probably has the Eviolite. The problem is, if my opponent protected that slot on that Z move, wasted that Z move, that could put us in a terrible position, especially if the protect came out from the slowpoke, and we went for, and the Togedemaru just attacked. We'd lose Togedemaru straight away. So that was kind of a bit of a 50-50 lead, like guessing game here, but we kind of got it right. We made the right call in the end. We got rid of that trick room. It kind of really set us up for the rest of the game quite nicely there. So as you can see, the Togedemaru won for the protect there. You know, in hindsight, for my opponent, I think they probably should have just double attacked or attacked with the Togedemaru. There was really no threat other than the fake out coming from that slot, from the Togedemaru slot. You know, it's not going to go down to anything either Pokemon can attack with, and the fake out's quite present, that like it could come out onto that slowpoke there. So I think we called it right. I don't know if we would have needed the helping hand or not, but just to make sure, you know, the Eviolite makes that whatever Pokemon holding it that's unevolved super bulky. So we managed to take a bit of an early lead there, taking us really to the rest of the game. I don't think there was really too many other turns in this game that kind of made it stand out. It was pretty straightforward from there. My opponent played around well, getting the Togedemaru out later in the game, because we did manage to, you know, get the encore. We see the Tapu Bulu come in here, but we went straight for an encore. We've got so much field pressure at this point in the game as well, where we can pick up a KO onto the Tapu Bulu and then just encore the Togedemaru. Anything that switches in as well. As you saw, the Drampa switched in on the Flare Blitz here from my opponent's end. Because the sun's up and we're running quite an offensive Arcanine, just the damage output is just ridiculous. Now the one questionable thing we could have done this turn was predict my opponent to switch out the Togedemaru and go for the Flare Blitz into that slot, expecting this Tapu Bulu to come in, because it was quite obvious that the Togedemaru might just switch out there. But the thing with doing that was, if we did attack into that slot, fair enough, we get rid of the Tapu Bulu, but then it's a free switch in for that Togedemaru again, and that Drampa was probably left alone that turn to just fire off an attack, potentially take down the Arcanine, which is the one thing we really needed to deal with the Tapu Bulu in this situation. I know we had Garchomp in the back with the poison jab that we could have taken care of, but I think we were safer going for the play that we made. My opponent could have potentially protected the Drampa this turn, but then he knows the encore was there, so I mean, protecting the Drampa in that situation and then switching the Tapu Bulu in on the other side, it would have been able to he would have been able to maneuver around a bit more. But I think we made the better call trying to get rid of the Drampa when we did, and then it still kind of put us into a really nice position to kind of close the game out. But there isn't too much to talk about in this game. So the more important game is, let's see, this second game. So let's whiz forward, guys, and where are we going? So let's go. As I say, this is kind of new for me doing this, so I'm just going to whiz forward, see team preview here of our next opponent. There we go. So we've got our next opponent here, and they're running a team of Tapu Koko, Kartana, Alolan Muck, Garchomp, Gyarados, and Arcanine. So as I said in team preview going into this match, it was pretty straightforward that we definitely needed the Togedemaru because of the pressure that the Tapu Koko was putting onto us. It hits Bravery super hard, it hits the Tapu Fini super hard, so it does protect us against the Tapu Koko that way. What did we bring here? What did we bring? I think we led we led Togedemaru Bravery, didn't we? No, we didn't. We led Togedemaru. Let me skip forward, because we led Togedemaru and Garchomp. Bravery and Garchomp. That makes a lot more sense. So we led... I should know this. I've just played the game. So we led... Let's go back to team preview. We led Bravery Garchomp here, which kind of gave us a lot of cover. So we've got the Bravery puts off my opponent bringing the Intimidate, or at least that's what you kind of hope, that they don't bring their Intimidate users to the match. Well, they might do, and they just keep it in the back, but it kind of protects the Garchomp most of the time to allow it to get those full power Earthquakes, Rock Slides, Fire Fangs, whatever. So I like that lead a lot, and we can Earthquake next to the Bravery quite freely, and we've also got the Togedemaru in the back with I think we brought we brought Arcanine to this game just for the Kartana and the Intimidate support on our end. So I think the biggest problem in this game was we led right. I feel like our lead was fine here. because we put a lot of pressure straight away, being scarfed on everything on my opponent's side of the field. Really, you know, we can double into the Kartana. Kartana's not really going to be picking up a KO onto anything here, and we do threaten the KO onto that Tapu Koko with the Earthquake. Now, what we did say at the time was whether or not it would be worth switching out the Garchomp for the Togedemaru and just Brave Birding into the Kartana slot. Now, in hindsight, we should have done that, but I think what I was thinking at the time was, well, let's call my opponent's bluff, because he knows I've got the Togedemaru. Togedemaru here is an easy switch in to protect that Bravery from any electric type attacks. It's so obvious that I might do that, but then, so I was like, let's just not bother doing that and go for an Earthquake and a Brave Bird, and that should clear the field. But my opponent calls my bluff, which, you know, we shouldn't, you know, I think because it was such an early stage in the game, we shouldn't have been so ballsy, so to speak. I think we should have, let's see what we do. So we get the electric terrain up here, we see the Tapu Koko. It's in a bad position right now, so you would think it would need to switch. It does threaten the Bravery, but we do have that threat of the Togedemaru in the back. So if all we'd done was switch out the Garchomp, keep it for later on, switch that Togedemaru in. There's always the threat that the Kartana would attack, but it would probably be attacking into the Garchomp slot with something like a Leaf Blade, which Togedemaru can take quite comfortably. So we should, in all situations, get you know, the Brave Bird off into that Kartana, do some really good damage, and, you know, then we've got the Togedemaru with the fake out support going into that next turn. But we didn't decide to do that. We went for the Brave Bird into the Kartana slot and just went for an Earthquake, and we see my opponent calling our bluff almost, bringing in the Gyarados, which does activate the Defiant ability. Now the Gyarados in most situations would go down to a +1 Defiant Brave Bird, but it must be quite heavily invested in defense and HP to survive this, or we got a really low roll, and it's still got to have some defense investment. So we do get the Brave Bird. It just misses the KO, and unfortunately, because we didn't call that bluff, and my opponent went for it. If we brought in Togedemaru there, we would have been sitting in such a good position, because the next turn we would have been threatening a big Brave Bird onto the Gyarados. The Tapu Koko would have had to have locked itself into Dazzling Gleam or switched out. So I think that was the big moment in that game. If we just switched in Togedemaru instead of the keeping the Garchomp in an Earthquake, and it would have made such a difference. Like I say, then my opponent proceeds to kind of bring in their Garchomp, and we have nothing to switch in on the Garchomp, because we've got Arcanine in the back that we don't want to bring in on an Earthquake, and, you know, we've still got Togedemaru out on the field, but we've got no real way to deal with the Garchomp on my opponent's end of the field now. So that is a big problem. We maybe should have brought Tapu Fini there, but then, you know, the argument is, if we brought Tapu Fini, we wouldn't have had much to deal with the Kartana, and then the the Bravery was kind of still more relied upon anything else. So I think all that game came down to was just not making the right play that turn one, and it kind of shows how important that turn one is when we go through that just there, because it shuts down pretty much any option that we've got, because the +1 Brave Bird should be enough to kill the Garchomp. If not, it's going to put it in range for something like my own Garchomp to pick up the kill with an Earthquake, or, you know, a Rock Slide or something like that later on in the game, and then we would have still had Arcanine to come in. The Gyarados would have had to have been forced to switch out that next turn, or just take a Brave Bird from the Bravery, turn 2 I'm talking about, and we would have been able to kind of start really rolling over the team. So it was just that first turn, I think, if we just protected our Garchomp, took it out, brought the Togedemaru in, that would have protected the Bravery to kind of just start the sweep. But unfortunately, we just didn't make that play, and then the game kind of went downhill from there. So it was a bit unfortunate, but it's just something to think about next time we are playing in a similar sort of situation where we don't need to be so rash turn one and so ballsy maybe in that first instance, and just be a bit more precarious with what we're doing. We didn't have much to lose by switching in the Togedemaru in that first turn. We had loads to gain from doing it, so we should have just went for it really. But my opponent kind of controlled the field after that very well and shut down the game. But that is the quick analysis we're doing here for this episode, guys. So hopefully it kind of made a little bit of sense. Hopefully it was alright. I'm sure as we go through these episodes and we get more kind of in tune with doing these analyzer episodes, it'll get a lot better going forward. But I did want to just test it out today to see what you guys thought, so it'll be brilliant to hear what you guys think. And you know, if you feel like I've missed something with the analysis here, then do let me know. The games were pretty quick today, but I just made them quick because I wanted to make sure that we were doing this analyzer episode and we weren't kind of overstretching the episode as well. But do let me know what you think of it. If it's a good idea, we'll keep doing it. If not, then it doesn't matter at all. We can just go back to what we were doing. But if you feel like it's something that would be beneficial, that'd be great. Do leave a like on the video. It's massively appreciated, guys. Smash that like button. It is always appreciated. But I do really want to hear your comments, so let me know what you think of this new kind of setup, if it's something that's going to be beneficial going forward. And as I say, it's baby steps at the minute. We're going to take a little bit of time getting into it and getting really well versed with how we're doing it. But I feel like overall it's going to be really beneficial for you guys to do this, and it's going to make me a bit better at analysing and just being able to kind of pinpoint where we went wrong in games and maybe where we should have changed things up a bit. And yeah, so that's that. If you're new to the channel as well, do subscribe. Hello, so you can stay up to date with all our daily content, like our Battle Spot Double series, School of Hard Knocks series, QR Code series, and all of that. So we'll be back tomorrow, guys, with an episode of our Battle Spot Double series. We are playing that Tapu Koko Mega Kangaskhan team, so do tune in for that tomorrow evening, and we'll leave things there. So until then, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Any questions, let me know. Really looking forward to kind of hearing what you guys think of this new setup. But I thought I'd try it out. And I'm going to stop rambling now and let you go. Have a great night, whatever you're doing. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all tomorrow. So until then, bye-bye.